Hey there, sacred souls. It's Julie Norman, body image guru from bodykarmahealing.com. Change your body image, change the world. Empowering women to transform feeling fat to living free so they can enjoy lives to the fullest and contribute in the highest consciousness to our world, contribute to world peace. This video blog is part of Module 2 in my Foundations e-course that's up on the website. If you've come across this just out on YouTube, I really encourage you, or somewhere else, social media, I really encourage you to take a look at the e-course and go through it. If you struggle at all with body image, with eating challenges, with self-empowerment, self-love, with manifesting your dreams, there's going to be something in there for you. It's a pretty comprehensive guide to the path of yoga that's suitable for beginners or advanced practitioners. And this video blog here today, I'm going to focus on the first two limbs of yoga, the yamas and the niyamas. So most people associate yoga with the postures, maybe even meditation, but yoga is an eightfold path that has 8 specific parts to it, starting with these practices for regulating our behavior and also tending our inner world. So I take the yamas and niyamas, there's 10 of them, 5 of each, and look at 1 or 2 of them within each of these modules, and kind of corresponding with, hello, I have a little friend here. This is Sir Hilary. Welcome. And look at them with the different chakra centers and the different themes we're working on. So this video is about grounding into your worth and coincides with that module where we focus on the root chakra, the first main energy center of the body. We focus on managing healing through fear and really getting ourselves grounded into the physical body so that our highest selves, our true selves can shine through. So the first yama in the first limb of yoga, the very first teaching of yoga, is ahimsa, which means non-violence. I've also come across interpretations of this that define ahimsa as compassionate awareness. And I describe that in the fat practice and in my foundations, the fundamentals module, the first module in the e-course. I think that makes sense because if we are compassionately aware, first and foremost, of ourselves, our inner reaction, our behaviors, compassion means to simply be with, to not judge, to just hold space for. I think if we can have that compassionate awareness, we won't act in violence. If we can just simply take a pause and take a breath and feel what's going on, which is just such a huge part of my teachings, and I believe what yoga encourages us to do is really be embodied and really feel through life, which is the second chakra module coming up next video. So I want to tell a story about that I think defines how ahimsa works. And with this theme of grounding into our worth, feeling whole and complete and worthy, believing that we are truly Atman, spark of the divine, that there's really no true separation between us and what we consider as source or God or love. I grew up in a Catholic family. My parents not so much, but my grandparents really wanted us to learn the faith. And there was so much about it that I really loved. I loved the ritual. I loved, getting together with my family. I loved meeting new people. I especially loved, and still love when I go to Catholic masses. I loved the part where everybody turned around and shook hands with a stranger and said, "Peace be with you." I just loved that part of it, and I couldn't wait to get to that part of the service. So I remember, though, in 2nd grade, when we were preparing for the sacrament of communion, which I was excited about. I wanted to partake with the rest of the church in going up and, interestingly enough, receiving the body of Christ. And they started, teaching us about original sin. And I had been noticing this through the services and PSR classes, that there was this message that we're wrong, we're broken, we're bad, that at our core, we are not like God, that we're bad, and that we have to look outside of ourselves for direction in being, quite frankly, what I understand as non-violent. That we need direction from outside ourselves to keep us in line, to keep us in check. And we were, started to go to confession, just part of the communion sacrament. And I just remember thinking, as I'm hearing the priest share with us and learning these teachings, that there I was at 6, 7 years old, thinking to myself, I'm not bad. I haven't done anything wrong. And you want me to go to confession and tell this complete stranger, which was pretty scary, honestly, that I've done bad things, and I haven't. And I could just remember this inner struggle of this doesn't make sense. And up to that point, besides maybe, arguing with my parents, maybe teasing some of the neighbor kids in the neighborhood or something, engaging in that kind of banter, I really had not committed any sins as we define them. And so I had this struggle of going to confession and having nothing to really confess. I did not feel compelled to say I was doing anything wrong, because I wasn't. And so what happened, I was conflicted with that, because I caught myself going, okay, should I make stuff up? And what happened is, at the grocery store one day with my mom, and we're standing there in line in the checkout, and I looked over and noticed the shiny wrapper of a pack of mints called Certs. I don't even know if those are around anymore. And I stole them. I stole the pack of mints so that I could have something, so that I could be honest in confession about a sin. So to me, this perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about with grounding into your worth. People are afraid to accept their bodies. They're afraid to love themselves, to love their bodies. They're afraid to trust their bodies, because they believe, and whether it comes from religion or marketing or just, like I describe in the module, the malas, these veils, these illusions that we inherit, excuse me, though, believing in our wrongness, our brokenness, our worthlessness, our not enoughness, is what causes us to act in violence against ourselves, restricting our intake, overeating, compulsively exercising, not moving, not holding healthy boundaries. All of these things are symptoms of believing we are not worthy. So, that experience obviously was me acting out of alignment, was me acting in violence. There's another Yama Asteya, which is non-stealing, which is about more than just stealing a pack of mints from the grocery store. We'll get into that in a later module. So everybody's working on being nonviolent outside of themselves, but I think the nonviolence begins with this piece of grounding into our worth. So make sure you go through this root chakra module and keep coming back to it, because the root chakra is about the fact that we are an infinite, timeless, amazing soul rooted in a body, so that we can be of service. What is that service? Cultivating peace in ourselves and therefore in the world. So the other limb I want to begin looking at with you is the niyamas. And one of the niyamas, it's the fifth niyama, is Ishvara Pranidhana. I think this goes perfectly with the root chakra and the second module here of grounding into your worth. Ishvara Pranidhana means surrender. To surrender to God as you understand that. But again, remember the niyamas I mentioned are part of managing our inner world, working with our inner world. So in this module, we're working on fear and sitting with fear and getting grounded so we can feel through fear and then access the energy that's really behind that for our healing, to empower creation, empower us in our dharma path, our life's purpose, and our joy. We're here to have fun, people. So, to surrender, I think first and foremost, we need to surrender to our awesomeness. We need to just stop playing small, making up excuses for living a boring life, living a half life. We need to surrender the behaviors that give us a false sense of security, a false sense of worth and accomplishment and peace. Basically, our addictions. We need to surrender the things that are harming us back to that nonviolence so that we are contributing to peace in the world and so that we are happy. We deserve to be happy. So think about that. I want you to reflect on ahimsa, nonviolence, compassionate awareness, and surrender, Ishvara Pranidhana. Looking at that with this theme of grounding into your worth, accepting a body, accepting this body, not a new body, not your best body, not your high school graduation body. It's this body, it's with you. It's been with you from day one when you became concretized into matter. Reflect on these things. And how can you, and not just with food and body image and all this stuff, maybe it's gossiping. You know, are you contributing to violence in the world and against yourself by distracting through gossiping and comparing? And there's so many ways in which we fall out of alignment with our true nature of divineness. And the first sign that we're out of balance is not feeling good in our bodies. Is standing at the refrigerator when we're full, or thinking about starting yet another diet, or strapping on the Fitbit because you don't trust yourself. These are all signs. And this is what body karma healing is about. Thank you for listening to my ramblings and rantings. I hope that you find your own truth. If mine resonates, take it, apply it in your life. Study the Yamas and Niyamas. Lots of great books out there. I have a couple listed on my website under the Big Books link. Yoga in the Path of the Urban Mystic by Darren Main. It has fabulous writings about all the limbs of yoga and really practical application of the limbs of yoga to life, as well as Nourishing the Teacher by Danny Argate. Both fabulous books that I read and reread all the time and recommend to students and clients and use at workshops. So look at those, and by all means, feel free to connect with me. Email, post on social media, ask questions, or share the things you come across, quotes that relate to these topics and themes from this blog. And I wish you peace. Peace within, peace without, peace with your body, peace with food. You are awesome. Namaste.